Hello everyone, today I am going to be talking about the highs and the lows of my last week of being a hairdressing apprentice. If you are new here, hello, my name is Sophie and I started training to be a hairdresser way back in September 2020, and this year, the week commencing the 4th of July, was my final week being an apprentice. It was the run-up to my final exam, which was on a Sunday, and I am here to tell my story of that week. I also have some little clips that I filmed kind of here and there that week that I will also include in this video.
Good morning. This is my last week of being a hairdressing apprentice. Oh, I am so scared.
Before this week had even started, I had been having nightmares about this exam for months. I'm not even joking. I could make a whole different video on all of the nightmares I had running up to this exam, but let's just start at the beginning of this week in the land of the awake people. Mondays were my college days, so that's naturally where I was.
Last day!
It was a mildly uneventful day. We did some EPA practice, filled out some really boring paperwork, boiled to death on the way home on the train, you know, the usual. Tuesday was a very uneventful work day. Wednesday was technically my day off, although I practice a curly blow dry and an updo. The graft is real, guys, which took me ages and far longer than any of my other previous attempts, so naturally I started to panic, big time. Now you may be thinking,
does it really matter how long it takes you?
yes, it does. Once you have an allocated time on your sequencing sheet for how long you are going to take performing a service, you stick to that time. You stick to it like your life depends on it. But more on that later. We then move on to Thursday, and that is when I had my last ever training session in salon.
And what a training session it was.
Everything that could have went wrong, went wrong. Well, not quite everything, but everything went wrong. It took me ages to foil, much longer than I put on my sequencing sheet. I kept getting bleach all over my hands because I was stupid. And then to top things off, the back foils bled. They bled. Why did they have to freaking bleed? Thankfully, with colour, everything is always fixable. And we had a quick fix. We put a little bit of a root colour on. It was fine, but really not what I needed on that day at all. I needed it to get smooth. I needed to know I could do it without any faults. Did that happen? No, but it's fine. That's in the past. Friday and Saturday were both fairly uneventful, but as the heat was rising, so was my internal panic.
I'm actually so stressed. I don't know how to explain how nervous I am. And I have to get up at 5:30. Good luck to me.
I was physically and mentally in the pits of hell in the run-up to this exam. Not only could I not sleep because I was worried, no. I couldn't sleep because it was hot. It was freaking boiling. And on the day of the exam, it was 30 degrees in England. Do you even know how horrible that heat is? Anyway, Judgment Day had arrived. After my somewhat non-existent night's sleep, I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning to make myself look presentable. Yeah, I needed to put makeup on for this shiz. We had to look professional. Me. I look like a mountain troll half the time, so yeah, I needed to get up early to fix that.
Horrible. So it is in the morning and today is the day. Please excuse my whispering. Every other person in the house is asleep other than my mum. I am so scared. I don't even know how much I slept last night because it took me so long to go to sleep, and then I feel like I woke up every half an hour. But we have to look professional for this exam and not as if we just rolled out of bed. So I'm going to go and do some makeup and hopefully make myself look a little bit more presentable. I am back. I am makeuped up. I've done my hair. I feel like I'm about to do a dance exam, but it is what it is. It keeps my hair fully off my face and back because I think it's supposed to be really warm today, which is not ideal for doing a hairdressing exam. I need to have something to eat before we go, and then it's time to set off. I don't know how many times I've said it, but I'm so nervous. So nervous.
And by 7 AM we were on our way. I'm quite an anxious person anyway, but on the morning of this exam I was the literal definition of a nervous, anxious mess. I did not know what to do with myself in the slightest. Once we got there, everybody had to fill out really boring paperwork, and us learners had to go down into the studio to set up our stations and to meet our examiner. At this point, I was having a full-blown internal meltdown. I was terrified. However, a brief little interlude from the burning pits of terrifying hell. Our examiner was so nice, he was so lovely, such a chill presence, which is what I needed. Honestly, I can't even begin to tell you how bloody lovely he was just so nice, and honestly, couldn't have asked for a better examiner on the day. He had a little bit of a chat to us, gave us some calming words, and oh my god, I needed those calming words. And then we started. Okay, so for those who don't know, here's a bit of a lowdown of what we had to do for our endpoint assessment for my particular course that I did. We have to do a restyle for the cut, then you have to do half a head of foils with an additional colour. Could be a toner, could be a root colour, depending on what your client needs. You then need to do an above the shoulder blow dry, you need to do a curly blow dry, and then you need to do pin curls and an updo. All of those practical assessment points needed a thorough consultation as well, which lasted between 3 and 5 minutes. We were given 6 hours overall to complete all of this, and we had an allocated 20-minute lunch break wherever we desired. I had 3 clients for my exam. I had my mum, my sister and my mum's friend. I'm so sorry, the lighting is just changing because Sam has decided to go in. So I cut my mum's hair, I coloured and did the above the shoulder blow dry on my sister's hair, and then I did the curly blow dry, pin curl and updo on my mum's friend. So mum went first, and in the first 30 seconds I just completely forgot how to do a consultation. Great timing, Sophie. I managed to get through that, but then approximately 10 minutes later I managed to slice my finger with the scissors whilst I was cutting my mum's hair. More great timing from me, myself and I. Thanks a bunch. Sun's back out. I managed to get through the haircut while shaking like a leaf, and after quite literally having verbal diarrhea after the examiner asked me some questions, I was on to the next client, Daisy. Now, in theory, Daisy's appointment should have been the most simple one. I just follow the formula, watch my time, and we get a good result. However, did that happen? No. I initially mixed my bleach wrong because the settings on the scale weren't right, and I didn't realise. Great start. But I carried on anyway. It was fine, it was fine, it was not fine. Because it was so freaking hot that day, the bleach within the foils expanded, and when I came to take Daisy's back foils off, 2 of them had bled, really. I quite literally died inside. Because, like my attempt at foils the other day, it meant I had to colour correct, which ordinarily would be fine, but in a high stakes hairdressing exam, it was not fine. Luckily, I had that practice the other day and I managed to fix it, but oh boy, did it eat into my time. Let's just go back to what I said earlier. Once you have an allocated time on your sequencing sheet for how long you are going to take performing a service, you stick to that time. You stick to it like your life depends on it. You stick to your timings or you lose marks. If you can't stick to your timings well enough, obviously there's leeway here and there for things that you can't control, yada yada, then you fail. Because it shows incompetence and a lack of awareness for professional timing standards. Yeah. Well, I thought I was so I absolutely bombed it through Daisy's blow dry. Thankfully she doesn't have a mountain of hair, and it was the above the shoulder blow dry. I then grabbed the examiner, he checked it, and I was at the final hurdle. The curly blow dry, the pin curl and the updo. Now, if you know me, you know I do not like a curly blow dry. I think they're a waste of time, they don't hold unless you've got the right kind of hair, and they make me sweat like I've been at the gym for 4 hours. I was dreading this. And in 30-degree heat with no air conditioning, you're having a laugh, right? Right? Wrong. Doing a curly blow dry on one of the hottest days of the year really changes a person. But I did it whilst sweating buckets and scalding my face and chest with a hairdryer and probably crying at some point. I got through it. I did the curly blow dry and the pink curls together, and once that was done, I only had the updo left to do. This part I knew I could do. It was fine. I was chill. I mean, I definitely was not chill, but I was pretending to be chill, and all I needed to do was an updo. The final 30 minutes went past in a flash, and after using 1,000 grits later, trying to get those damn tiny little hands to stick down, I was finished. I got to the examiner for the final time. He checked everything over. He shook my hand, and he told me that I had completed my endpoint assessment. And inside, I just completely crumpled. I felt such a sense of relief, I could have sobbed. The weight taken off my shoulders was just euphoric. I can't even explain how relieved I actually was. However, I now had to wait for the results, which in itself is just terrifying. I just wanted to curl up into a ball and hide and never find out. We only had to wait 2 weeks for the results, thankfully. And when I tell you I was in shock when I got my results, I was thoroughly shocked. For my particular exam and for the exam board that we were with, the final endpoint assessment is out of 700 marks. I know, 700. You have to get 500 marks to pass, and then you have to get 635 marks to get a distinction. It's known to be quite difficult to get a distinction because not only do your practical skills have to be near perfect, your theory and your knowledge also has to be more on point than a ballet dancer in the Nutcracker. You have to know your stuff. You also have to display extremely competent customer service skills, teamwork skills, cleanliness and hygiene, and you have to be extremely professional. This also includes being wary of what you wear. You have to do a lot. But anyway, I will stop stalling and get to the part you all actually want to know. What did I get? Well, I am very happy to say that, drumroll please, I passed with 680 marks, which is a distinction. I was and still am absolutely elated. I had what some may call a difficult time during my apprenticeship with my training outside of college, so I absolutely worked my arse off whilst I was at college to get what I did. Literal blood, sweat and tears went into this qualification. I'm not even joking. And I still couldn't be happier. I also still don't believe I did so well. Thank God it's over though. No more. Never again. If anybody has any questions about hair apprenticeships and my experience, etc, etc, then please don't hesitate to ask, although I'm sure I will be making more videos on my overall experience in the future and as time unfolds. For now though, that was my final week of being a hairdressing apprentice, and what a week it was. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment and subscribe. My Instagram and Twitter are linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. I initially
That is not actually how I blow dry.